Catacomb culture. This is Reverend Albert Serino, and today we're going to talk about an ancient shamanic technique known as shapeshifting. So shapeshifting is a technique that had many practical uses in indigenous cultures, as well as some uses in today's culture. The measurement scale that it goes by is degrees. We start with the earliest stages of it, which is in essence mimicry or acting or playing the role of something that you typically are not, all the way up until the highest degrees of it, which some shamans believe that it is just completely shifting what you are and showing yourself to other people as something completely different. So if you start as a human, you would shift and somebody would then see you as, say, a tree or as an animal or something of that nature. Today, we're just going to talk a little bit about how to shapeshift around the middle ground, to take on aspects of nature and to learn what nature has to offer as an intelligence in itself. In order to understand how shapeshifting works, we have to remember our perception is everything. We could view the world that all is matter or physical, that we experience it with our five senses, that we're all separate from each other, and that this tree behind me, or these stones around me, don't have any kind of intelligence that we could connect with or communicate with. Or we could shift our perception to all is energy, we're all connected, and we all come from the same source, and that all has an intelligence, and that nature is intelligent and can speak to us. So really anything that is around you, you could practice shapeshifting with. Here we have some water, we have this tree, we have these big stones. If we had a fire, anything is really possible to shapeshift with. And everything has something to teach us. For example, this tree. Trees have the ability to teach us stability and grounding in our life, especially when we're having some trouble with that in our daily life. Water helps us learn how to flow, teaches us how to let our emotions move and how to not hold on to certain things. Air or wind helps us to learn how to be light, how to be free, how to be adaptable. These are just basic things that these elements will teach us, but there's so much more, and they contain so much more wisdom. So in order to learn, we must sit down and we practice. So in order to begin shapeshifting, we find a spot or find something that we'd like to merge with. As I said earlier, this tree is going to be my buddy today. We sit down, we take a couple deep breaths just to center ourselves, build up a little energy within. And this shift is going to be more of an inward shift rather than a physical shift, kind of in the middle of in the degrees of shapeshifting. And this will allow me to take on the energies of the tree, to feel what it feels like to stand tall and to be stable, and put me in a space where I could listen to the wisdom and the knowledge that the tree wants to share. So I begin, I take my deep breaths, and I sit. And I began to imagine that in front of me is a ball of light. This light could be any color, really could be any shape, it could just be free forming as it moves. But I usually start with a sphere and just imagine it like that. And then once I spend a little time really imagining it, I shift my intention from my physical body into the sphere or the energy shape. I put my awareness fully in that. And we'll call that our energy body for now. And after a few minutes, when I really feel anchored and I could really perceive myself in this energy body, weightless, free-flowing, light, pure light, then I began to shift. And all this involves is me thinking of the tree and me intending that this energy form that I am, that my awareness is in, shift into the frequency or the form or the pattern, however you'd like to say it, of that tree. And this may take a few minutes. But as I began to shift more and more, I personally start to feel myself expand, this sense of connection, as all my roots are connected with all the trees all around me for miles and miles. I start to feel the squeezing of my trunk as water works its way up to the top to my leaves. I start to feel the sun beaming down on my leaves. Little birds that are jumping around on my branches. And then what typically happens after a few minutes of doing this is things seem to get very quiet, very centered. And then if you sit long enough, some of these thoughts seem to come into your head. And you recognize them, but they don't seem like they're yours, or what you would call your thoughts. And you'll notice that it's information that's just being shown to you. That as you are this tree, you contain all of its wisdom and all of its knowledge as well. And continue to just hold that centered space and to just listen, to allow these things to flow into you, and for you just to take them in and just understand. And then finally, after your time is up, whether it be a half hour, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you feel comfortable with, bring your energy body back to the front of your body, the physical body. And you bring your awareness back into the physical body. And typically how I like to end it is I'll take a couple deep breaths again, and I'll just move my arms and my fingers and my legs, and just kind of really bring my awareness back into this moment, into this physical body. And just to recap, you want to find your space, find what you'd like to merge with, whatever it may be. Sit down. You want to build up a little bit of energy within yourself and center. So typically you might want to do some deep breathing exercises, or just meditating works. And the next thing you want to do is you want to imagine that energetic body in front of your being. You want to shift your awareness into it, and then you want to begin to intend to shift your own vibration to match whatever you're merging with. And then once you're in that space of merging, you just kind of check for appropriate action, whatever that may be, whether it be healing, whether it be information, whatever your intention was when you were going into the shapeshift. That's the time to receive that information. So go out, give it a try, and see what you come up with. It may take a little bit of time. It is something that you have to practice, but I promise you, if you keep at it, you will get it. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email at gvtholistic@gmail.com.